Okay, good. So we are recording and we want to go on to, we just finished STR, CMP, STR, CMPI. We want to go on to STR, CHR, and STR, STR, okay? So STR, and STR, CHR, unlike STR, CMP, and STR, CMPI, these use two strings and return a number. STR, and STR, CHR actually return a pointer address. Now, we haven't done pointers, and I really don't want to go into what pointers are at this point. But what you need to know is that a pointer is just a location in memory. So if it is that we call this function, and this function returns a memory location, then we can check that the location is valid by comparing against null. What is called null, right? A value called null. And null is something that means no addressable location was returned. Okay? So null is not like 0 because 0 is a value. Null is the lack of a value. All right, so we'll be comparing against something called null for those two functions, just to let us know. We're going to, we're kind of going to use the two functions together again. So printf, and we want to say this is the fifth one. Use the str function and the strchr function. What are we using these to find out? We're using these to find out if a substring exists or if a character exists within a string. So again, I'm going to have to use a single character, ch, and I'm going to take in two strings. So I might, and a character. I'm going to take in two strings and a character. Into case, well, which case was this? 5. So this is case 5. A break statement here. And str, and str, chr example. So we're entering text into string 1, right? And let me say, enter a long string of text into str1 and enter a substring of text into str2. So hopefully that substring will be in that long string. And then I'm going to ask now to enter into ch, right? Enter a single character into ch. And we'll have to use scanf %c %ch to store this here. Okay. Of course, I like to always put my get char after my scanf statement. So we'll first check to see if we could find a substring in str1. So, you know, we get into the habit of doing it, right? So we want to print out what str1 contains. and what str2 contains. So let's put that here. str1 contains a specific string, and str2 contains a and we will check to see if str2 is a substring of str1. Okay. So how do I do this? I say if str for if str for str1 comma str2 is unequal to null. What does it mean? This means if a memory address for the location of str2 as a substring of str1 was returned, printf what? Then sign S is a substring of $sign S. str2, str1. Okay. Else, same thing actually. You could print the same thing and say, just stick the word not here, and it becomes, acceptable. So let's just compile. Okay. So we checking to see if str2 is a substring of str1. We haven't done ch yet, but let's make a check on this because we want to work on one thing at one time. All right, let's just change this up here so that we have a \n here. We have a \n there.
Say by chance, did we, oh well, in line 99 say, you have is a not instead of is not a.
Oh, right. That's is not a substring. Thank you. So we want to use the str, so we haven't done the strchr yet, right? Enter a long string of text. Okay. This class is the best. We have cookies. And let's see, we're looking for a substring, right? So we have class is. We have a single character, enter, y, right? So this class is the best. We have cookies, is str1. And str2 contains class is. And we want to see if that's a substring. Class is a substring of this class is the best, we have cookies, right? So it is a substring of this class is the best, we have cookies. So because it's, this part here is this part here. We don't have anything after that, but let's check to see if it works when we don't have an actual substring. 5, right? That is a far away land, country. So we have faraway land, France is a faraway land. String 2 contains country. And let's check to see. Country is not a substring of France is a faraway land. That string, that shorter string, does not exist in this longer string. Okay? So it seems to work. And of course, for the strchr, it's pretty much the same, right? We could say if what? If strchr for str1, comma, ch is unequal to null, right? What does that mean? It means that we found that character in the string. So printf, the character sign C exists EXISTS in the string, right? Sign S. What character? This was CH, and the string was str1. And of course, we have else here. Else what? Else character %sign C does not exist in the string. Okay, so let's see if it works for the character now. So we have str, we have 5. Enter a long string, right? This is my favorite song. Enter a substring, songs. Enter a single character, F. This is my favorite song. str2 contains song. Songs is not a substring of this is my favorite song. And the character F exists in the string this is my favorite song. Okay, so let me go up here and just put additionally, right? str1 contains and str2 contains %sign S. And the character to search for is %sign C. And we will check to see if str2 is a substring of str1. And if the character exists in the string str1. So let me just see how that looks, even though we know it's working. 5. Hello, my dear dog. So str1 contains hello, my dear, and str2 contains dog, and the character to search for is what? Because Mr. Valdez, you did not put CH here. So whatever random craziness in memory just came up. So let's search for it again. Hello, my dear dog, you. So now we have it correct. str1 contains hello, my dear. str2 contains dog, and we will check to see if str2 is a substring of str1 and if the character exists in the string str1. Dog is not a substring, and the character U does not exist in the string. This is just str, and strchr. They're not like super popular, in terms of use, but you could, I'm sure you could in your mind see where, if you have to use it, where you could use it, right? Because I mean, if say for instance, you have like a description stored for a particular item, and you can't remember the exact details of the item, but you could remember something from the description. You could ask to show all content where this word exists in the description, correct? You all see where I'm going with this? You're quiet.
Oh,
And
it's like this thing too when you're trying to find something in a WhatsApp chat and then press the search function, you could
it's
type
like,
in some
yes,
text and it would
yes.
show all the locations where that specific text was present.
It's exactly that, yes. So that is kind of like the fundamentals of where it becomes quite important. Okay. And if it is that, a lot of these functions here, if it is or when it is, you all have to do any Linux related class in university, you all would see that a lot of this functionality is kind of built into the Linux operating system. All right. So, it's really and truly very close. It's get it in your head in terms of what this could be done here. Because if it is that you decide to go down the road of Linux administration, then this kind of gives you an advantage because you're already thinking in this manner. All right, now to get to the one that is kind of like the big bad boy here, which is printf 6 use the strtok function. All right. So what is string tokenization? String tokenization, as I said before, is breaking strings up into smaller tokens or parts. All right. So let's say, for instance, you have some details on a user, right? You have some details on a user. Let's say we have a string which holds the data on a user. Jamie Hernandez, 27th of the 5th, 05. Right? What else we want to keep on them? Maybe the weight in kilograms, 45 kilograms. And maybe the height in meters, 1.75 meters. Let's say we have this information on somebody. When this information is together, maybe we want to print it out in a particular manner, right? Maybe we want to print it out in a particular manner. I want to print it out first name, last name, date of birth. How can I split these apart? I could use strtok, the strtok function. So if I take this information here, and I put it into the strtok function, all right? I put it into the strtok function, and I say, for my strtok function, I also want to break it up according to the character comma. What I will get is I will get a token that will contain the name Jamie. And then I could run this again, and then I will get another token with the word Hernandez in it. And then I could run it again and I'll get the date of birth. And I could do that, I could keep on doing that until I have nothing else to tokenize. But my common character for tokenization is this comma that I pass into the string tokenizer. Everybody understand where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Do we have an idea where I'm going with this?
Sir, one more time, sir.
Okay. If I have a large string of text, I'm going to use another example. This dot is dot sum dot text. Hold a second, please. Hold a second, I have to take this. Right. So if we had this text, this is some text, and this is some text is stored in the variable str. And I want to tokenize this into the elements. This is some text. What I would do is that what is the common thing that separates all of them? That is the character, what you call it? Full stop, the period. All right. So we have some full stops that breaking up the words. This is some text. So I want each token to show me a new word each time. I can use strtok and feed in strtok into strtok that I want to break up this string according to this character full stop. Right? And each time I call the function, I will get a new word from it because of the fact that I'm saying, hey, give me the next block of words until you find a full stop. That's what I'm saying to do here. You all follow me? We're going to see how to do it now. But this is the concept behind it. We basically busting up a long string of text by some common character to get shorter pieces of text, right? Who with me? Who not with me? Let me see. I'm looking at the list to just see in case any hands raised or anything so. Who with me? Who not with me? All right, thanks. Clement, say you with me.
I would for the
You
moment.
with yes, sir.
You're with me. All right. Okay, good, good, good. You know, I sometimes need a little validation now, right? I feel like I just hear talking away. And, you know, I just wonder to myself, why these children taking me on, boy, or is they just saying something? So that's why I had to ask for the little feedback. Okay? All right, good. But now that I know that you all are with me, I am, you know, I feel confident to move forward because I'm sure that if anybody was not with me, they would say, yes?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. I know that, at any point in time, you guys could message me and say, hey, sir, I say I was with you in class, but I think I was lying. And I'm not going to hold it against you. I will try and help you as much as I could. But the thing is, do that as soon as possible. Because if it is, that you had problems now, but you tell me 2 months from now, I will have to hold my head and cry before I do as you have. Everybody with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That one guy who answered.
I don't know. I was going to tell her I
Anyway.
would have keep it alive until unit 2 now, and then I'll bust it on you on unit 2. But all right, I'll message you as soon as possible.
Nah, don't do that, please. All right. I rather we fall out and argue and all kind of thing in unit 1 than you just goes through. All right, so we want to use the strtok function, the string tokenizer function. Okay, so again, we have case 6. And we'll start off just like the others. We get a string of text. Right, strtok example. And I'm going to have to ask you guys to trust me on something here. I will explain it to you, but I will explain it to you all a little later. I'm not explaining it to you all now, okay? This is just what we'll need to be able to use this strtok function. We are going to have to use a string that is declared as a pointer. So in order to hold what is returned from the strtok function, I'm going to have a string that is declared as a pointer. This little asterisk here means that it's a pointer, that it's a memory address. Okay, and I'm naming the string token. So this string token here is what I'm going to hold the values that I'm bursting up I'm bursting up that larger string into. I'm going to be using that. All right, so we have a long string of text that goes into str1. And we have a long string of text going into str1. And we want that long string of text, right? And I'm putting here separated, right? With information separated by commas. And it doesn't only have to be commas, right? But just for our example, just like that, okay? So we enter a long string of text. Just for this example, we have information separated by commas into the first string. Okay. And then we will have, once we get that text, we will want to tokenize this information. All right, so we want to tokenize this information. So what are we doing? The first time that we call the string tokenization function, we put the string and the character that we want to tokenize by. So I could say token is equal to strtok str1, comma, comma. What am I saying here? I am saying to break up this string of text into smaller strings separated by the commas, right? We call the tokenization function and say that we want to pass the string to be tokenized and a comma string to break up the and the comma string to break up the larger string by. So we have this, and what I'm going to do for now is that I'm going to just print out this here. Printf % sin s. I'm just printing out the first token that we get, just for example purposes. Okay, so let's use the string tokenization function. I did not put a\n after this. Right. So we have used the string tokenization function. 6. Enter a long string of text with information separated by commas. Example, let's just use some fruits. Let's go mango, comma, plum, comma, sapodilla, apodilla, comma, apple, comma, grape. Look, just mango alone came out. Why is this? Mango came out because we passed this long string of text into here and say token should show all of the text until you reach to that first comma. And then stop. That's what happened. Mango, stop. Right? So we say string tokenization str1, comma, string toke str1 and comma, and that return mango because that's what it does. But what if we want the rest of these to continue? Right? What if we want the rest of these to continue? Then we will have to, of course, we will have to put in a loop, and until nothing could be returned, we say keep on tokenizing. Let's take a look at doing that. All right, so this here would print the first token. And if we want to continue, we could say while token is unequal to null, which means as long as the token value was valid, right? As long as the last token was valid, we want to continue and check to see if there's another token. But the second time on the same string, right? For the second token onwards, for the same string, we pass the value null to the tokenization function, which would tell it to continue on from the last position. From the last position, it pulled the token from. So what does that mean? It means that, okay, the first time I passed str1 to this, but and I got the first token printing out here. But if I want to continue on from the last token space, I have to say token is equal to str tok null, comma. So what am I saying? I'm saying continue from the last token pull. Continue on from the last token pull. And if I now print that token, right? If I now print the next token pull, it will continue to pull these tokens until there is no more tokens, until there are no more tokens to pull. Until we have no more tokens to pull. Okay, so let's see this in action and let's see if it will now tokenize my entire list. So \n so that each new token will come out on a new line. Okay, so let's say option 6. We had mango, we had plum, we had pineapple, we had grape, we had banana, we have apple, I don't know, right? We have June plum. I'm just putting things. And let's see. It pulled each one of these and listed it, stored it in its own token that was printed out. I could now take each one of these values here and treat them as the own. I could do whatever I want with it. But it moved it from this one long string separated by commas to its own little token that I could now use that as an individual thing. Okay? So you all with me here? You all understand what's going on?
So I understand. So, but what if you want to like get specific numbers in the thing? So let's say I want only the third and fifth one. So how you would do that?
Well,
Like
that's
fifth.
up to you as the programmer. You will have to know where you're putting what. Right? So if it is that you are doing it in such a way that the user wants to store each one or not, then after you pull each token, you might have to ask the user if they want to keep it or if they don't want to keep it. If you as the programmer know that you're keeping certain ones to put in a certain structure and discarding others to put somewhere else, then that is what you will have to do as well.
Okay, so.
Right? Because remember, you are the one in charge of making the program. So any other questions?
See, so if you want to get like one string separately, right? Like you want to use one string outside of that, you have to like use string copy or something like that to get that string outside from the token.
What you mean? Like if you want to take one of the tokens and store it somewhere else?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you could string copy it into wherever you want it, which we will be doing in our video, which would allow us to build our ISB. Right, so you see how long all these string functions took. I think on Wednesday, maybe we might have to focus on Wednesday, we might have to focus on doing the structs and the file input output. you know, but, you know, we're not rushing anything. I'll ask all the questions, you know.
So can you go
Yeah.
to the part of the code where you initialize token?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So you have to define token as a pointer, right? You can't create token as a regular character array. You have to define it as a token string. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? No?
No, sir.
All right. I know we had a kind of marathon going through these string functions today. I'm going to change this to 7. All right, just so that the menu can run from 1 to 7. And any other value will return an error. All right. But just to recap, the string length allows us to get the size of a string. The string copy allows you to copy the contents of the second string given into the first string. So string 2 contents will copy into string 1, right? String 2's contents will copy into string 1. String cat will attach the contents of string 2 onto string 1. String cat will attach the contents of string 2 onto string 1. The fourth example was the string compare, and string compare will return a value of 0 if the strings are the same. String compare will return a value of 0 if the strings are the same, and if the strings are different, then you're going to get a non-zero value, right? Either 1 or -1. And string compare I does the same thing as string compare, except it doesn't consider the case of the letters. When I say it doesn't consider the case of the letters, I mean that it ignores whether or not a letter is capital but in the same place. The fifth one, str, and strchr, they return if a substring is a part of a longer string or if a character exists within a string. And the last one that we looked at was string tokenization, which breaks up a longer string according to a particular character. Okay, and this is the example that, this is the one I want us to take a little example to do right now, right, in the last half hour of the class. So I want to ask us to do this question right now. Okay, using the example, and I will send it to you. I will send it to you via the chat. Let me do that now so that right. Right, so you all have it, string function examples. And I want us to write a C program that allows a user to enter a value into a string. the program also asks the user to enter another string which would act as the value to tokenize the first string byte. The program would then print out all of the values from the first string. The program would then print out all of the values from the first string according to on separate lines as it was split up by the separator parameter. Okay, so it's not too different from what we did just now. I just want you to try it yourself. You're asking for two values. Both of them are strings, right? You also need to have your tokenization pointer. You are asking for the user to enter a value into a string or a sentence into a string, separate the values by a specific character. All right. The second, it also asks the user to enter another string by which would act as the value to tokenize the first string by. So example, so this is your example. Your input would be fries, hamburger, fish sticks. And input would also be a dash. The out is fries, hamburger, fish sticks. Okay. So this is the input and this is the output. I'm giving us 20 minutes to do this. You all have the, you all have the, what you call it? The example code. So get started. All right. I'm stopping the recording now.